the meeting to order. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please. Carol Sid.
Ron Miller.
Present.
Mayor Franklin.
Here.
Chris Armstrong. Here.
Approval of minutes.
I've read the minutes on February 27th, and I would make a motion that we approve them as presented.
I would second that motion. Is there any discussion regarding the approval of minutes February 27th? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Passes on a vote of 3-0. I think that was 3-0. I didn't hear a lot over here. All right. Approval of claims in the amount of $674,295.35.
I would make a motion for the approval of the claims as presented in the amount of $674,295.35.
Second. Okay. Chris seconded that for the record. Is there any discussion regarding approval of claims? All right. Hearing none, all in favor of approving the claims as presented signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Passes on a vote of 3-0. There are no licenses to be considered. Are there any changes to the agenda? Hearing none. Are there any visitor comments? Okay. Meeting's adjourned. Oh, wait a minute. Hi, Mitchell. Under old business, we have 1206 East Broadway. Is that George or Bill?
That would be me.
Okay. What you got on 1206 East Broadway?
1206 East Broadway, the gentleman that owns it's from down southern Indiana. The tenant that lived there moved out and left the place a mess, and he is slowly working on getting it taken care of. Can only come up on weekends because he does have a job, but I told him as long as I saw weekly improvement, I would work with him on it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Stay on top of it and let us know. There's no other old business. Under new business, we have reports. First, the building commissioner. Just in time.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I submitted my report for your review. If there's any comments on that report, I'll take the comments. If not, that's all I have this week.
Okay.
Did I see where Jay's Food Mart put up a new sign? Was that this week or last week?
Last week, yeah. They've actually put two signs up. They put a new freestanding sign up, and then also a surface mount sign on the front of the building as well.
But they're not going to use Jay's Food Mart, are they? I don't think that's the name that matches the one that's been hung on the building.
I'm not
else.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm not 100%.
I just noticed the mobile sign.
I don't remember it being Jay's Food Mart. I specifically remember it being something other than Jay's Food Mart because of your weekly reports, but I guess he can call it what he wants to.
Well, that's the building permit was issued to Jay's Food Mart.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, this is actually, I think, his fourth store that he will have here in Indiana.
Okay, is there any update on the Maven's building? It appears as if it will be finished by, today's the 6th.
Right, yeah. It appears that it will be done by Friday. I mean, he's going to lose the day today.
Okay.
He won't be on site today because of other projects that he has with snow removal and things such as that. But it appears that he will be cleaned up by end of day Friday.
Okay, and the 215 Market Street, the Greensfielder building, status on that?
They have been issued their 10-day notice to attend the board meeting next Wednesday to address that issue.
And who did you issue that directive to?
I issued it to the owner as well as Indiana Landmarks Group as well.
Okay, very good. Any further questions for the building commissioner?
None, and I'd make a motion that we accept the building commissioner's report as presented.
Second. It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Trying to save your voice. All right, code enforcement.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You have in front of you a written copy of my report. I tried to make it a little more specific for you guys by providing you detailed reports of each individual property that was notified to appear. Before we get into that, Bill Drinkwine and I did meet with Russell Older and his father at 211 East Linden Avenue last Wednesday. Dan Williams was there also to discuss the garage that on the same day as the Greenfield building collapsed, washed into the river, or part of it did. Mr. Alder has no money. He did manage to get his personal items out of the river. I don't know whether he's going to be able to salvage any of it or not. The garage is an absolute mess. It's a structure that's shared on the property line, and that half the structure is on Mr. Alder's property and the other half is on Jeff Murray's property. We got the typical response from Jeff Murray in that we did not get a response from him. I met later in the day with employees of B&G Construction. They are supposed to be in the process of preparing a estimate to tear this garage down for us. At that point, we'll follow our normal protocol in that a lien will be put against the property. You should have pictures of the property in your packet.
Is that 207, 211 West Linden?
Yes.
Okay.
So you can see what we're up against. When the garage was built, it was actually built over the retaining wall, and part of it hung over the wall. And you can see where it's collapsed and fallen into the river. And the debris remaining in the river does belong to Mr. Murray. It's going to be quite a task to get that stuff out of the river, and I'm sure it's going to be rather costly for us. All right, that's just,
Do we have a cost estimate on?
no, we're waiting on a price from B&G, and I'm sure we'll end up getting a quote from others also, but the building is pretty unstable.
So if the price you're going to ask for from B&G, does that include cleaning up what's fallen into the river?
Yes.
Does that price go down if the river gets up?
It'll probably go up if the river rises.
What a mess.
Yes, it is. It's typical Jeff Murray property.
Does he have a timeline as to when he'll give us the price?
No, we didn't put a timeline on him. I'm sure Bill or I one can give him a call.
And I would assume that we will also have to go through the standard procedure to notify and ask them to appear.
Well, this should be treated as an emergency action on the city's part, so we can waive the timeline for notification because of the urgency of doing this. We expect a price back. I talked to B&G yesterday afternoon. We should have that today. I hope, although the storm may delay that as well, probably tomorrow. But we also have to coordinate the disconnect and removal of power to the house at 207 East Linden to allow access, because the power line going to 207 East Linden crosses over in front of the garage and is too low.
I see.
We can't get a piece of equipment in there to access the garage to tear it down.
I see.
So we're going to coordinate that as well.
So do you anticipate you'll be back next week asking for the emergency order?
Yes.
Next Wednesday? Okay.
Just so you know, for the record, this will be a very delicate demolition because there is concern with the weight of the equipment in the backyard there, and as small as the backyard, that those yards may wash into the river with the vibration of the equipment. We hope not, but
We're going to be required to issue a letter to both property owners, 211 and 207 East Linden, waiving responsibility for any damage to the existing property. As George said, because the concrete driveway that separates the two houses is suspect, and where as much moisture as there is, we're probably going to do some damage to that. But then we have to also make a decision on to what extent do we do the cleanup and what are we liable for? Because as George said, the head wall has washed in and collapsed. We can simply go in, not that simple, but we simply go in, clean the garage up, clean the debris out of the river, but then do we walk away from the earth embankment and leave it, or are we bound to go in and stabilize that soil as well, i.e. with some riprap to prevent further washing away of the bank there? And that's something, that we're basically,
Have we been in contact with, I would assume, the Army Corps of Engineers, even though that's not a navigable river? Do they have any jurisdiction over it? Is there any requirement before we tear the garage down?
Well, in previous conversations that we've had with the DNR,
Uh-huh.
the DNR clearly avoids any responsibility for that at all, that it falls on the property owner, if I understood that conversation
And-
correctly.
Yeah.
They avoid it, but do they assign it? They walk away from it, but can they assign it to us?
We can reach out to the Army Corps of Engineers to see if they have any
Yeah.
standards or requirements.
Just if it helps, 218, 210 Eel River Avenue, as well as the Firestone Grill, both removed their wall intentionally without objection from the Army Corps. But in this case, I just don't know. I just want to make sure that we're not stuck with a very large bill.
Well, that was the position that the DNR representative took as well, that they had the head walls are not an obligation to be maintained by the property owner. They can do whatever they want.
Right.
There are no constraints on that.
Okay.
The situation's a little different in the locations you're talking about, Your Honor, because down there you have quite a bit of land between the actual water and the wall. As you can see in these pictures here, these were taken when the water level was down. The water is right up where the wall was at.
Understood. Yeah. Okay, well, let us know.
Okay. Bill, I don't know if I have any questions for you on this next one or not, but we also met with Alfonso Perez and his attorney, Andrew Aki, at 516 East Linden. A little bit of a language barrier problem there. Mr. Perez was visibly and obviously upset, but I think that his attorney understands and was going to make it clear to Mr. Perez that he was in violation of the ordinance with the accessory buildings being built right on the property line, the privacy fence being erected, and then the privacy fence being made into a wall of the structure. And his attorney, Andrew Aki, assured us that the problem would be resolved.
Can you give us a timeline?
Did not give us a time. Well, 30 days, didn't they say, Bill? 30 days.
Thank you.
This week, ordered to appear. We'll start with Bob and LaVia first. I spoke with them on the phone yesterday. That property is currently in foreclosure. They did go over and did a limited amount of cleanup on the structure and in the yard. However, they stopped just short of saying since it was in foreclosure, they were going to walk away from it because they felt like the bank would be the ones that would be responsible for it. I advised them that we would work with them and attempt to find out the bank and notify the bank of the violation. Next.
Are these three,
Yes, those are just a part of the pictures.
are they cleaned up? Is this cleaned up?
No, this is not cleaned up.
312 West Linden. 312 West Linden. What did they clean up? Did you say they attempted to clean something?
They carried everything back to the alley and had a limited number of $1 stickers that they put on some of it. But there was only, I think she said there were 4 items that they put $1 stickers on, and the rest of it they left lay there.
But they're the property owner of record?
Yes, they were. It was a rental property that they had.
Okay. Isn't this our normal procedure, even though somebody's willingly going to allow the property go back to go back to the bank? Don't we go ahead and proceed as if the property owner is the person that we have to notify? And
If that's your pleasure, that's what we'll do.
is that what we've always done?
That's what we've always done in the past, but we have not always had the knowledge that the property was being foreclosed on because very few of the people bothered to contact us.
Uh-huh. So which, is it a local bank?
No, it was, she didn't even know it was an Outwood. They took their mortgage out, the mortgage company that they had their mortgage with sold the mortgage to someone else, and they don't even know who holds the mortgage to the property now.
Right, so how are we going to know who holds the mortgage?
She was going to attempt to find it for us.
And she doesn't? How long do we let it go before we
If
deal
you want
with
to
it?
order a cleanup on it right now, we'll order a cleanup.
I'm just asking how long do we expect before we have an answer? Because, I mean, this is totally avoidable.
I say, my thought is this is a Monday pickup. No, I'll take that back. This is a Wednesday pickup area. I would say if after today it's not picked up. If they didn't go over and put any more dollar stickers on it, we go over and pick up what's remaining.
So you'll be back before us next Wednesday?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, next we have 204 West Ottawa. The property is owned by Christopher Truax. This has been an ongoing problem. Mr. Truax is here to represent himself today. This is not the first time that I've sent him a letter of violation. He has made attempts in the past to clean it up. However, it's not satisfiable. It's not suitable. You can see from the fence, the condition of the fence, poor condition. You can see from the pictures the items that were in the fence. He did move the sofa. As of Monday when I drove past there, the sofa had been moved outside the residence, setting between the curb and the sidewalk, and a very limited amount of cleanup on the inside. The washing machine had been moved. Mr. Truax, you want to come on up here and have a seat right here, sir?
Is there a dollar sticker on the sofa that was set between
There
them?
was, I did not see
Trash
one.
day is Wednesday, and I'm gonna take care of that this Wednesday.
Today is
Today's Wednesday.
Oh,
today.
I lose my days, I work nights, and
Yeah. Is there a dollar sticker on the sofa?
as soon as I leave here, there will be. There's not at the moment, no.
Again, I would like to point out that this is not the first time that I have had involvement with Mr. Truax. This is not the first time. Even before me, this has been an ongoing problem for a number of years now. I think Mr. Truax, the original letter was written February 14th, so nearly a month ago. It was probably 6 months ago that I first had contact via mail with Mr. Truax. He called me then and said that he would clean it up. He did clean it up a little bit, but even after he cleaned it up, he just continued to place more debris and items in his yard and around his yard. My recommendation would be that we go ahead and clean it up. However, I'm sure the board will have some questions for Mr. Truax. I've also got a concern about the deteriorating condition of the fence, as well as that of the house.
Okay, how far back does your record go as far as contacts with the owner?
At least 5 years
Okay.
in the file.
Okay. Mr. Truax, I see one photograph here that has a picture of a pickup truck in. Is that your truck?
That's my truck.
Is it truck run?
Yes.
Okay. And you're working right now?
Yeah, well, see, honestly, up till about a couple weeks, I thought I was gonna lose the house. I had some issues with taxes on it. I
Uh-huh.
let someone live there, and my mail, yeah, but anyway, if you check, I just saved it. I gave the city $3,300 just a couple weeks ago just to save it on the tax issues.
Uh-huh.
For over the past year, I hadn't even lived there,
Uh-huh.
and I'm gonna get it cleaned up, and I'm back home finally.
Okay.
And the fence, I purchased some other fencing that's set there in the opening now.
Uh-huh.
As soon as it gets nice out, I plan on starting to replace the fence.
Where are you working at?
I work at Myers Springs.
Okay. And you're working second shift?
Yes.
Okay.
The fencing that you purchased, I saw some fencing there. Was it new fencing or used?
It's
fencing?
used. My neighbor had purchased it to put on a property that he had, and it's all in really good shape. There's no, busted up pieces on it or anything. It's all in really good shape. And the purchase of the house that he was trying to buy, I guess it had fallen through or something like that. He offered to sell the fencing to me, and I purchased it. I plan, as soon as it gets nice, I plan on, putting it up and, yeah, getting everything all straightened out.
Is this your dog in the picture?
Yes.
Because he's such a nice-looking dog and has such a good look on his face, I would suggest that we give you a week to clean this thing up, and if it's not done by this time next Wednesday, we will clean it up. I'd make a motion we do that.
I would second that motion. 1 week. We'll see you next week and have it.
This weekend I will be on it. I
Okay.
promise.
We want to give you every opportunity to do it, and what happens if you don't, we're trying to avoid that. We're trying to work with you.
Oh, I
If
appreciate
you clean it up, it's going to be better off for you because we're going to start right back again placing tax liens on the property. And that's not at all what we're wanting to do, but at the same time.
I don't want that either. It's just now through.
Yeah, but if we have a file that goes back 5 years,
As far as I can remember, which I didn't live there for a few years, but I only know of the last summer I got a notice, and I tried to clean it up, and I did call him.
Sure.
But I didn't follow through. I will.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to try to sugarcoat it. I did.
Okay, well, I appreciate your honesty, I appreciate you getting it cleaned up, and if it's, George will notify us at 9 a.m. next Wednesday if the property's cleaned up, no problem, we'll move on and shake hands, and if it's not, we'll be sending a truck over there that day.
Now with the fence, it is, I've went through and the holes, I don't know if you've been by and seen the holes that were messed up. I did go through and put new pieces up to, so don't have all the holes in it, and try to make it look more presentable until I do get, the weather does get nice enough. And the new fencing, I have enough to go all the way across the front and down the side.
Okay.
Now, the very back of it is where the shed is at, which I'm going to get rid of the sheds too, which the shed, I'll wait till the weather gets nice, both the sheds are going to be gone.
I think everybody would agree that we're willing to work with anybody who's willing to make progress, but when we get stonewalled and there's absolutely no progress, that's when we take
why
action.
I came, so I didn't.
And so, if we're seeing a significant amount of progress, we're very lenient in being willing to work with anybody.
Thank you.
And if we're seeing that, then I see no reason why we wouldn't continue. We would prefer that you do this instead of us.
Yes.
But at the same time, we only have a limited amount of patience, and I would encourage you strongly to get on this as fast as you can and to get it done as fast as you can. And in all likelihood, next time we see you here, we'll just take action.
Well, thank you.
Okay. So that was in the form of a motion until next Wednesday at 9 a.m. I would second that motion. Is there any further discussion? Hearing no further discussion.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Good deal.
All in favor of ordering the property cleanup if progress has not been made by next Wednesday, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, do you have anything else in your report?
Yeah, one other thing should have came under old business, and I apologize that I forgot it, 700 Washington Street. I reported last week that we were trying to work with the property owner.
The house on the corner?
Yes, because he's got some, what I believe to be equipment out there for working on engines and stuff that's just laying around the yard that could probably be costly. Last time I drove past there had been almost no progress on it. I'd sent him a letter that you had a copy of last week, advising him that he had until the 7th day of this month to clean it up and dispose of it. Like I said, last time I drove past there, it had not been cleaned up. So just as a heads up for you guys, you'd already ordered a cleanup on it. Once Dan gets caught up on the salt and the plow, hopefully sometime tomorrow or Friday, unless he's cleaned it up in the last day or so, we'll be over there to haul that stuff away.
And just one question. As I recall, this was the property that had, my term, not yours, a significant amount of machinery, equipment that was had some value to it, and we wanted to give him every chance to deal with it before we did.
That is correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Make the motion that we accept the code enforcement officer's report as presented.
I would second that.
Superintendent of Public Works has submitted a written report. He is, I'm sorry, yes, for the code enforcement officer's report. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, passes on a vote of 3-0. Superintendent of Public Works is away at a school yesterday and today. He's not in town. The rest of the crew we had asked to be here, but then we had about 8 inches of snow, so they're busy with that. The report has been submitted in writing, and I have reviewed it, and it's the standard long list, punch list of activities that the Department of Public Works takes every week. I would make the motion that we accept the Superintendent of Public Works report as presented.
I would second that.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, passes on a vote of 3-0. Chief of Police Clark could not be here today, nor could Fire Chief Strong. Everybody's busy. Are there any more board member comments? Hearing none. Is there any miscellaneous business, including matters not already considered? Hearing none. Nice to have Councilman Bishop here this morning. Do you have any questions, Bob? No. Street getting plowed okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We're adjourned.